my camera? Hey guys.
Yeah, we're gonna start her stream. We're gonna do our direct.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Hey guys, it's your humble host Chambers of my heart. This is actually my very first debate, and it looks like we're having some issues with my camera. Oh no. That's perfectly fine though. But anyway,
oh no.
I'm with someone called the Shades, and I believe you're an anime viewer, correct?
Yes, I am an anime reviewer on YouTube. I have a show called Anime Takeover, where I basically do episodic recaps of different anime series. I've got like 5 different reviews, one each day going on right now. It's kind of crazy, so...
And forgive me, folks, on my side, as I'm having to screw with my stuff once again. So you're going to see me screwing with my video. Yay! But anyway... so, yeah, there's been a lot of craziness going on, in regards to the, Vic Mignogna situation. There's been a lot of nutters that's come out, so we're going to, I want to say, kind of discuss kind of what's going on, or just, like, our take, or debate about some things, in regards to, like, people's behavior and whatnot, so...
Yeah, I think that's the bigger thing we're going to focus on, is less about the issue itself, since I think if you've been on Twitter enough, you pretty much know what's going on with that. And I think, you know, our sides are pretty clear at this point, as if anyone's been following me. But for those who haven't, yes, I will freely admit I am on the Kick Vic side of this campaign. I have my reasons, and we probably will go into that at some point. But that is not the main focus of this debate, because honestly, again... I'm not here to convince anybody to change their minds. That's a futile effort, and honestly, that's just going to lead to us yelling at each other. We're not doing that. The main thing I want to focus on is the hate, the absolute bile that both sides of this debate have been spewing at each other, because it has just been absolutely insane what we've been seeing on Twitter and on other social media as well.
Yeah, I will say there's already some people that we've actually had to go after. There was some kid doxing Monica, like somebody alerted me to it. And it's just, he made 2 accounts. I don't know how old this kid was, but made it 2 accounts. And one got reported, the other one I want to say got reported as well. So I don't know, and I've told people no doxing, none of that garbage. So yeah, it's just crazy. And I'm having all sorts of technical issues today.
It is, and I will say I am aware of that doxing situation. I actually saw that as it was going on, and full transparency, I am part of Monica Rial's Facebook group. And I actually reported to her mods about that situation and kept them up to date on that, because, yeah, I don't care which side of the fence you're on. Doxing anybody. Like, I'd be just as pissed if people were doxing Vic or you, for that matter. Like, anybody. Doxing is just not cool. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with doxing at all, and I've told, people that I don't even in like the severe situations that just don't dox period, because you don't know who's with the person. People have died from swatting or whatnot. And sorry, real quick guys, I'm having some technical issues over here, so usually I have the Discord pop up, but it's not popping up right now. So you guys want to see who's talking? Go into my hall. You'll be able to see us both in the by Hearth. So I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead and continue, because holy cow, it's a freaking computer.
That's fine. Yeah, doxing and swatting are just absolutely unacceptable, period. And I'm glad right off the bat that we both are on the same page there. That to me says that this debate is going to be a lot easier to do than I thought. I mean, I didn't think you would be in favor of that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to accuse you of anything. That is not my plan. It's just knowing that right up front is just going to mean that we're on the same page on a lot of issues. Even if we don't agree on everything, we're going to at least agree that, you know, we don't need to be assholes to each other. We need to be, you know, we have the debate. We're going to have different sides. We're going to have different opinions, and that's fine. I'm understanding of that. I'm not here to change people's minds. I'm simply here to say, let's end the hate and be civil about this. And eventually, one way or the other, we will find the truth.
Yeah, I'm for, like, I've told multiple people this before, and sorry guys, once again, I am screwing with my stream, is I am for innocent until proven guilty. I've seen so many people blasted over stuff that got later proven false, so, and I am a past victim myself, not a vic, mind you, but just in general. So, for me, this is just really upsetting because I'm watching a guy who his accusers have yet to prove anything, validity, police reports, anything, and it's just like they keep blasting him, and so far he's lost jobs, he's just lost a lot of standing, and there's absolutely no reason for him to it should have never gone this far. It should have gone to legal situations, if anything, and it hasn't. It really hasn't. So it's like, now you guys are turning this into a kangaroo circus, or in my neck of the woods, as we call it, internet blood sports. And so people are gonna dig, people are gonna get mean, and I really think that this crap was done on purpose. I really freaking do. That they was taken to social media instead of the cops on purpose, because social media has more weight, in a manner of speaking, than our legal system will ever will.
And I think that's actually the crux of everything, regardless of which side you're on, because honestly, that's the whole reason the Me Too movement started up, was because even when people did report these kind of sexual harassment suits, nothing would ever, even if very rarely would anything come of it, and more often than not, the accused, even if they were found guilty, would just walk away scot-free. I mean, I think the best example would be Brock Turner. I'm assuming you know of that situation.
Is that the guy who actually got, I'm gonna be careful with the wording so I don't get YouTube started. And just to let you know, guys, this video is also demonetized as well, because like I said, I'm not, anything that's on the Vic Maniana situation or related, I'm not monetizing anything, so, is that Brock Turner the guy, not the football player, but he raped a girl behind a dumpster and then got off scot-free because of reasons? Do I have the right guy?
Yeah, basically, yeah. He was a college, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. He was a college student who, at a party, took a drunk girl behind a dumpster and basically raped her. And because the judge said, oh, he's got a potential, he doesn't want to hurt this poor boy's future, the guy basically got such a light sentence, he might as well not even have been found guilty. And that, I think it was things, and that was just a regular college student. And then you look at celebrities, guys like Harvey Weinstein and that kind of situation, and that is why a lot of women, and some men as well, let's not play gender here, a lot of people in general have just decided, okay, the justice system's not going to help us. We're just going to blast these guys. I'm not saying it's always perfect. I'm not saying that innocent people aren't going to get caught in the crossfire. In fact, it should have never come to this in the first place. Our justice system should have covered this. And I do agree with you that when it comes to Vic, it should have gone to court. I've said that in my soapbox vlogs that I do. I've said, people have always been calling, why do we take him to court? You should. We should take him to court. But it didn't happen. But because of things like the Me Too thing, people feel that the only way they can even get any semblance of justice is just by doing stuff like this, which is sad no matter which side you're on.
Yeah, my co-host, I tweeted out a video by my co-host, Ichabod Orange, or Citrus Quest, and he's talking about how ever since the inception of the public court, or aka the public opinion, has just been utter and total crap. I mean, it's one thing when you have the public court, it can be beneficiary, when you actually have your case proven and you're able to prove your side. But when you're not, and it's nothing but word of mouth or rumors, or I heard this, or my friend supposedly saw that, it doesn't mean anything. And especially when you bring that crap onto the internet, and there's very many spheres of YouTube starting to get involved in this. And I remember tweeting something out about how this is not a demon people want to play with, and I mean it. You now have a political sphere getting involved. They started to nose around in it. I think I saw traces of it last week. I'm from the same political sphere, mind you. And now it's just more and more, and it's just like, you guys should have never played with this fire at all, because a lot of you are going to get scorched now. I mean, the VAs, and here's the other thing. The VAs themselves want to talk about, like, not spreading hate and things like harassment when they've been popping off the mouth. Freaking Jamie Marchi, holy cow, sounds like she needs to be in a freaking psych ward with the way that she tweets, with what she tweets. And it's just like, dude, you are psychotic. It's just the way that she
I'm
comes
gonna be
across.
completely honest. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm coming into this going, no. I'm a fan of Jamie Marchi. I'm a fan of Monica Rial. I'm a fan of all those voice actors, but I'm not going to sit here and defend them either. I've seen what Jamie and Monica have been doing, and Monica's fiance Ron as well. I know that's going to come up as well. Yes, what they're doing is going overboard, and you're absolutely right. Though I also do understand where a lot of that anger is coming from. Again, I'm not justifying it. I want to make that very clear right now. I am not defending what they're doing. I'm just simply saying I understand where it's coming from. As you know, when they put out their stories about Vic, the response they got was pure just harassment. They've been hounded, they've been insulted, they've been called names, the very things that I'm trying to say we need to stop. And eventually you reach a breaking point. And that's kind of what's happened with them. I'm not agreeing that, again, they shouldn't have done it. They should have taken the high road. But I can understand where it's coming from. And it is sad. And the big thing I want to bring up here with this is that you mentioned, of course, putting stuff on the internet is a very dangerous thing. For one other reason, and I think a lot of people tend to ignore this, something that I think a lot of us on either side have forgotten about, and that is the trolls. And I don't mean either side in general. I'm talking a very specific group of people in the underbelly of the internet, like the people on 4chan, who, when they see something like this, just love to come out of the woodworks, just come out of their little hidey holes, and just cause all sorts of chaos for no other reason than to get us angry. They pick a side. They say, we're going to take this side and we're going to make their lives hell. Not because we agree with the cause, not because we want to defend it, just because we want to piss people off. It really infuriates me that these people exist.
Well, let me touch upon 2 points, because you brought up releasing their stories. Let me touch upon Monica Rial's story, and then I'll touch upon the 8chan/4chan thing. Monica Rial's evidence has come out debunking her entire freaking claim, because I can tell you right now, because I'm able to prove my case of a past sexual abuse victim. That's not something I wear like a badge. That's something that's like, yeah, I'm kind of one of these people, but I don't want to be associated with anything of the Me Too movement or anything like that. So when it comes to Monica Rial, the way that she was all huggy, kissy, goofy with Vic, I'm sorry. You do not treat someone like that who has sexually assaulted you. And as far as what I've seen of her stories and Jamie's and a lot of these other people's, it has melded together. It is the same shtick, or it's literally the same fanfic rewritten over and over to either sound better or make Vic sound like the worst person. Nothing has been shown. Nothing has validified what they've been saying. And as far as 8chan, we have a rule. I've said this here on my channel, is with 8chan, because I've been talking to people about how the VAs are not familiar with internet culture at all, and my God, it shows. When it comes to 8chan, and people who have been around on my channel, you have heard me say this time and time again, when it comes to 8chan, 4chan, the boards, whatever, when you are their target, the best thing you can do is shut the hell up and go quiet. Don't act like a freaking crazy person, because what they collect is something called milk. They do not pick a side. They're nobody's army. Now, you do have, depending on the situation, I have seen the boards go on to one side or the other, depending on what the situation is. But for the most part, they're there for the lull. So they're going to stir and they're going to poke anyone who's going to, like, re at them or re at other people. So be quiet and act like a calm person. But the VAs don't understand that. I am not saying what is happening to them, what the actual trolls, mind you, not the criticism, but the actual trolls and people trying to go out of their way to rile them. I'm not saying that's okay, but once again, internet culture. These people have no freaking clue what they just stuck their foot in. None. And they think they can threaten. There's like 8chan. If you tease, if you threaten people like 8chan or from 8chan, or the boards are like, okay, we got your friend, let's play. I've seen it time and time again, man. They need to get a clue. This is why this shit is continuing.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to argue that. That is the problem. And now, I will make a couple of counterpoints to what you mentioned with Monica. The big one being, of course, being friendly with Vic in photos and stuff like that. Now, you could argue that maybe she didn't need to be as friendly, and I will freely admit that, but bear in mind that a lot of those photos were also at, like, professional events, you know, and this is where they have to be cordial because, you know, again, people are watching. Their own reputations are on the line. If they come off hating each other in photos, of course people are going to be looking at Monica going, why are you hating on this guy so much? It's exactly what's going on now. It's going to happen then. So, of course, they have to stay friendly for photos and stuff like that. So whether or not that is actually going on, whether or not she was actually being friendly is at best debatable. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's debatable. And I want to make that clear because we don't really know the truth behind those photos.
Honestly, I have to disagree because the saying goes, one photo is 1,000 words, and you can just tell by the emotion. I've seen multiple photos of Vic and Monica, and there's even a photo of them going out for a it's called a Muay Thai. It's a drink, and I think it's alcoholic or whatnot. They went out for drinks, and Monica took a Snapchat of the drink while Vic in the background looking at it wide-eyed because the drink was so big. So, and I have a screenshot of that. So I just know you can't tell me, oh, well, her story came out and suddenly she doesn't like him. No. For those there's a difference. You can tell when someone does not want to be near someone, but they're forced to take a photo. And then there's another difference when they're actually having a good time with said person. So for those people who actually know how to lurk and pick up on the emotions and the facial expressions, it's more than obvious. To me, she jumped on the train, and especially with Jamie Marchi, because let's look at her story of her saying it was in the lobby of her employer. I'm sorry. A manager does not matter how friendly the coworkers are, how down to earth the work environment is. A manager is going to walk up and go, what the actual hell are you doing? You guys are being way inappropriate in front of my customers, in front of the other workers, my office now. Or they're going to pull you in a corner. So the fact that there wasn't even a report or any even mention of this, because people do talk and post, I got to call, again, bullshit on her story. There's no way in flying hell that nobody said anything to Vic or to Jamie, especially when she puts in there, oh, well, I more than likely told him to go get the F off, or what the F are you doing? No, I've worked in all sorts of work environments, whether it be down to earth, really strict, micromanage, whatever. And it's just like, no, man, no, there would have been something, a report put out, something about that. Managers don't let that crap fly. It doesn't matter how down to earth that work environment is. Where is...
It's, in all honesty, it is a very complicated, it's like, again, unless we were actually there, or unless there were photos, and I know that's one thing you guys have been asking for is photos, we can't honestly say, one, do we even know what the lobby of Funimation at that time looked like? Because, you know, when you picture a lobby of a major business, you're probably thinking like a grand hallway kind of thing. But it could very well just be a very small area where there's not that many people around to do that kind of thing. Again, I'm just simply trying to see where this could happen. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to see what arguments can be made here to make us wonder, could this have happened? Not did it, could it? And that's the thing we have to make clear here, because we don't know. And I think that's one thing we have to stress here, is that until that lawsuit happens and things finally come out into the courtroom, we don't know. We may have possibilities, we may have evidence here or there, but at the end of the day, we really do not know what actually happened. That is for the courts to decide. And I think that's why we're on the same page on that one. They did need to go to court and put him on trial for this, if this legitimately happened.
Well,
it's a tricky situation, and that.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
And here's the thing, because yes, in the court of law, what happens. And I'm not going to get into political stuff. Oh, some courts are trying to. No, we're not even going to open that can of worms. But here's the thing. Because people, if you watch people's behavior, because observation, what's come out, how people have responded to stuff. If you watch the way that people behave, and I've been watching the voice actors continue to flip their lids and just go off the rails even more. You have Ron Toy. My opinion, that man is a freaking tool. When Vic did not respond to his olive branch, he went off the deep end again, and he started to collect IP addresses for people shit talking on a wiki page. This is how off the rails these guys are, and it's like, if you guys are truly victims, let me tell you something as a past victim. You know how hard it is to put out a freaking poem or even an image having to do with my past, and yet I got these freaking monkeys running around saying, oh, well, we're victims, hey, pull my hair. I don't give a flying fuck. There's no evidence of it. You guys have destroyed somebody, and when somebody asks you for proof because you guys want to see this man burn, like, okay, I have a screenshot from somebody DMing Jamie Marchi, this is not photoshopped, of her pretty much saying yes, that on word of mouth, she feels that Vic should be destroyed and burned. I'm sorry. That's not okay. That is not evidence. And I know people can fake stuff, and I know things can get misconstrued, but the behavior I've been seeing, if you guys were real victims, to be honest, and you guys weren't trying to virtue signal or trying to get fucking attention from this or trying to go out of your way to destroy somebody, you would be very quiet and be putting out some stuff here and there. But their behavior, their responses speak volumes. And also, to point something else out too, is they've been lashing out, because here's the double standard. Here's when you know people are bullshitting, because, and once again, I've said this on my stream, I've said this in my video, all my viewers know this. I'm not out to destroy any other VA's career. I'm not out to get them banned from cons. I don't care. All I really care is about Vic's reputation and him being drugged through the mud over bullshit. Also, what was the other thing? Innocent until proven guilty all across the board. So there's accusations coming out against the other VAs. But once again, no proof has been given to us from that side. Like you have Ghost and Shell. Who was it? Hirohi mentioned that Ghost and Shell might be trying to make a point, which even then, it's just like, if you're making that claim just to make a point, no, that's not okay. And I think we talked about that on my stream last Friday. But it just, they get like thrown underneath the bus. They get told to F off. It's a double standard. They get treated differently because they don't fit the narrative. And that very much shows. And unfortunately, politics has moved in, various sides have moved in on this, but it's just like, your behavior tells me many, many things and tells me you're full of shit. Anyway, go ahead. I've rambled for the past few minutes.
It's okay. It's okay. This is a very passionate topic. We wouldn't be having this debate if it wasn't, so I understand where you're coming from. And I also want to thank you for seeing the Ghost Enjo thing for what it is, because yeah, I think we both agree. I appreciate you not being hypocritical on that. I really do. Like that is a case where yeah, it's one story and it's debatable, but honestly, until we see either more stories or actual evidence that Jamie Marchi, which by the way, it's actually pronounced Jamie Marchi. I should probably okay. Correct you on that one to be.
No, you're fine.
Marchi, yeah. So that's why her Twitter name is Mark.
Oh. Okay.
That's why her Twitter name's Marky Mark. It's a joke. It's a dumb joke.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
anyway, back on topic. Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, back on topic with that. Yeah, his story again. If there was more than that story, and there was others, accusing her of other stuff, I'd probably be against her too. I'll flat out say it. To me, it's a case of how many stories can you throw out there before you realize there might be some truth to it. And the other thing I want to bring up when it comes to Vic is that, okay, fine. Let's assume for a minute that all of the sexual harassment claims are debunked. Like, because right now, some of them, while a lot of them have been debunked by you guys. I'm not going to sit here and say otherwise. There's still a lot more out there that haven't fully been cleared yet. But let's just say for a minute they are. There's another aspect of Vic's character that I think a lot of people haven't really touched on yet, and that's his attitude at cons. And I think that's where the investigation and the firing actually goes. Because it's not just, it probably wasn't just the sexual harassment claims that they investigated. They investigated his character as a whole. Now, I know you're going to bring up the idea that a lot of the VAs were helping with that investigation, and there's some bias with that. I'm going to go ahead and lay that out right now, because I know I want to nip that in the bud. That's possible. However, I also know for a fact, and this is straight fact because I've heard this long before these accusations ever started coming out, that he has had a reputation in conventions, a very bad reputation. Numerous conventions that I've heard from have said the same thing, that he is, at the very minimum, a diva of the highest order at conventions. And eventually was going to get... It was going to get to a point where that attitude was going to come back to bite him. Now, is this the best way to handle it? No. I will freely admit that. But maybe they use this as a catalyst. A bad catalyst, but a catalyst nonetheless. Go ahead.
With me, and I said this on my stream, and I've told this to people, I don't care if he's an asshole at cons. I don't care how much of a freaking diva he is. And I've even said this too, is I don't care how much of a ladies' man he is, because so far from everything I've seen, it's all been consensual. I don't care how much of an asshole. My care... Oh, you got a bunch of noise there.
Sorry, that was my bad.
My concern is the false sexual assault allegations, the sexual misconduct, the other stuff coming out. My care is how he treats his fans. His fans, and let me tell you something too, because, and I've actually reached out to the Risembool Rangers. I've interviewed them. I've been talking to them. Some of them are mods in my Discord channel or Discord server. So the accusation of them being a rabid fangirls is total bullshit. You have moms, you have parents, you have children, you have young men, and you have young women in the group. Vic's own mother is one of the high heads of the Risembool Rangers. So with that being said, is I have heard... countless, and I know once again word of mouth, but the way that someone responds to someone, the way that somebody talks about someone can spell volumes about someone's character. So from what I understand, from what I've seen, because I've seen also the videos of Vic's character interactions, which, by the way, is no different from the other DBZ actors, because there's been photos floating around of them being just as kissy and huggy as Vic is. So I really don't see... Anyway, to continue on, I've seen the man's character through his fans. I've actually attended one or two of his live streams that he has on it's phone app only, but on Unlock, the way that he was responded. Don't hate. He doesn't curse the people that are doing this to him. He doesn't say, go get him. He's actually told the Rangers specifically, if I understand correctly, not to engage with anybody, not to fight back, and not because, like, roll over, take it, but it's like, I don't want to put that attitude out there of negativity. So, but now he's been forced in a legal sense to go, you know what, I can't take this anymore. He's tried to be nice, so now he's going to court, and now he's going to have to be mean. And I've even told some of the Ranger this. I've told, I sent Vic a message during his unlock. I was like, dude, you have to get aggressive. You have to be nasty. Otherwise, these people are going to royally screw you over. So he's tried to be nice in every which way. And it's like, you know what? The way that he's responding, I've seen people who get responded to sexual allegations. Let's look at, and once again, I'm not trying to be political. This is just examples. Let's look at Michael Aventi. Let's look at Michael Moore. Both men have pushed the Me Too movement until they went in on the shit end of that stick, until they got accused like, oh, my wife is lying. What happened to the Me Too movement, guys? Listen and believe. So, once again, you compare those two, and I know like they're political figures, movie reviews, but you can compare the behavior of those two, just in general, to the way that Vic has responded to the allegations. It pales in comparison, and to me it's just like, you know what? Read in between the lines. There's, I don't know, there's so much more going on. I don't think that people are aware of. I don't know. I've been watching all kinds of people. I've been observing all sorts of stuff, and it's just like, nah, your behavior, no.
I will freely admit, I've seen how Vic's been handling this. He's stayed silent, and when he has spoken up, he's been nothing but respectful about the whole thing. And like you said, he has encouraged his fans to stay civil, which is, again, the reason why we're here, because we're trying to do the same thing. We want to end the hate. But I also know, and I have spoken with former Risembool Rangers, and I've spoken with several of them. They have also pointed out points where the Rangers have not always been as friendly as they seem. Again, and to counter your point about how Vic treats his fans, let me make this clear. When you are a celebrity, you know you have to treat your fans good. That is just kind of comes with the territory. So, of course, when he meets his fans, he's going to treat them like they're kings or queens. That's just what you do. If you didn't do that, you wouldn't have a fan base. And trust me, I know I've been to like concerts and gone to meet and greets with bands, and I've had bands treat me like utter shit. So I know what happens when you do that. Bands that treat your fans with respect tend to last longer. But it's what you do behind the scenes that can make the difference. When you think no one's looking, when no one's watching you, that's how your real self starts to act. We don't know what that side of Vic is. I'm not going to assume what that side of Vic is because we don't know. All we have are the testimonies. Again, the court case will reveal that in time. That is what that is for. That being said, even within the fan base that you speak of, again, there are fans who have felt, and again, I stress felt. I know what you're going to say, but I've seen some of the photos of fans who got hugged by Vic Mignogna compared to other VAs. And there actually is a clear difference between them in how he holds them, how he grabs them. You know, it's not just about hugging and kissing, as a lot of your fellow defenders have claimed. Which, if it was just that, I'd be shutting the fuck up. I would. I wouldn't even be making this argument if I didn't have anything that could prove this. But there was one person who I have spoken to that has shown me photos of other VA. We've seen photos of this person being hugged by other VAs and being hugged by Vic. And there is a very, very distinct difference in the way they hug that tells me a very clear picture. And that, to me, is where I think there is some semblance, maybe not a full confirmation, but some semblance of validity to these claims. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here making these arguments right now.
Honestly, let me see if I can pull it, because you have the voice of Krillin. Forgive me, I do not know his name. You have the voice of Krillin.
I believe that's Sonny Strait.
Literally cradling somebody in his arms during a photo shoot. You have, I'm trying to see if I have the photos here, because I have been collecting stuff up the wazoo. Let me see, I think they're all over the kick. Hashtag. But no, I've seen multiple photos of where they hold the fans just as tight or just as close when it comes to being affectionate with the fans. Hell, I think Sean Schemmel even like cuddled one fan, and the voice of Krillin cradled somebody for a photo shoot. I don't think the girl was even 18, and I'm not saying anybody's done anything wrong. I've been to conventions. I know how. Granted, I haven't been to one 8 years. My last one was in 2011, but I still remember how freaking huggy people were. So I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong. Please do not think that. But at the same time, the photos that have been going around of all the voice actors, mind you, to me, they're the same. They're the same tight hugging. Monica even has a picture of kissing a fan on the cheek. So it's just like, there is no difference here. All you guys share the same affection with your fans. Just as Vic does. But you want to demonize Vic for some odd reason. And claim it's sexual harassment or sexual assault or him being inappropriate with somebody. It's just like, that's not even accurate.
Again, this is why I say this is a complicated issue. There is no black or white here. This is a gray area. This is a very gray area. It is a very fine line between consensual, hugging and kissing, and what could be considered sexual assault. I'm not, again, this is where the courts are going to come in. Because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to be here. I cannot make that judgment call, and I'm not going to.
Right.
But there's a lot of stories we don't know about those pictures that might change everything. And we'd have to know those stories to be able to make any fair judgment here. But again, I've seen the photos that I've seen. And if you have any photos that can counter that, by all means, send them to me. Let me see them. I will judge for myself. Because I figured that's what you were doing. And because I want to be fair here. I do want to be fair here. I'm not, again, I know I'm a kick Vic guy, but I'm not one of those kind of guys that's going to sit here and say that everyone on my side is a saint and is right and is all that. No. I'm here to say, at this point, I still stand by the victims, but I'm willing to hear your side out if you can show me evidence to the contrary. That is the point. We need to find the truth, not just insults and hate. I'm willing to debate. That's why I'm here today. I am not here to just insult or say you're wrong or call you names or anything like that. It's just, that would not accomplish anything. I want the truth. I want the answers. I stand by the victims because I've seen what people like this go through and the hell that they've had to go through trying to get justice. But I don't sit here and say that I see Vic as the most vile human being on earth. Hell, Vic is not the most evil person on earth. I will not even dare make that claim. He has been a good person. I've seen that video, like before all this started, I saw that video where he was at a convention and defended those people against those goddamn church protesters, which any one of those people, considering I see those at my local convention every goddamn year, can go fuck off. But he is not the absolute worst person on earth. But at the very least, he has made a mistake. He has done something as far as these victims are concerned, he has done something he should not have done. And I will agree, the treatment he has got by some of us on our side is unacceptable. No question. Which is why we need to end this. He's apologized. He said he's seeking counseling, and now he's going to court to deal with this. We've got what we want out of this. What more do we need? We do not need to harass him or any other VAs anymore. Let the courts sort this out, and let's just end this already.
But here's the problem. People are... Me and you want the court system. Me and you want the court to sort this out, and that's how it should have went to. But this was all done on purpose in a very specific way. The way that, like I said, people respond, especially the VAs, when asked for evidence, is like, okay, you made the claim, you need to show me evidence of this, whether it be text messages. And here's the thing, people are like, well, I don't owe you anything. Yes, you do, if you're out to destroy something. If I went, like, because I've told people my stream, because I have memory repression of my abuse, but I remember some things here and there, and then I have testimonies from my parents. I've even gotten a hold of the property manager that was in charge of the apartment complex that I lived with my bio mom. But at the same time, I couldn't take anyone to court. Not that I don't want to, by the way, because it's like, oh my god, this is hell enough as it is, and that was so many years ago. But I got no way to actually prove anything outside of a CPS file, which I have. And so when we ask, like, you're putting these claims on the internet, you're trying to destroy somebody, we want to see evidence, because I've told people, if I see actual hard evidence, I don't have any tolerance for predators, pedophiles, none of that crap. If my viewers know that anybody who's new to here, go dig around in my channel, go dig through my Twitter. I hang around the anti-SJW sphere of YouTube. We've had to deal with pedophiles creeping in our woods. No, we don't put up with that shit for a second. So when I say, give me hard evidence, I will crucify the person, and alert others to it as well, because I've done those as well. And then you turn and go, I don't owe you anything. Yes, you do. This guy's getting destroyed, but you want us to believe and crucify the guy on words, and emotions are such a complicated thing. Whatever was going on at the time, no, I need hard evidence before I do anything. But everything that has come out, the fake swatting, the Samantha Hearth, Sean Schemmel, what else? As much as Valerie Deppa, that young girl saying that somebody impersonated her account and she blamed it on her ex-friend Mitchell Hoffman or Kaufman, and then later it was found out she said she wanted to do something similar to Mitchell that happened to Vic, like videotape him to where he would get, or she would get him to touch her and portray that as sexual harassment. And it's just like, nobody impersonated you, you wanted to falsify evidence, got caught, and then went with the victim narrative. Go screw yourself. So when I see people falsifying crap and trying every which way to try to intimidate and shut up, I had Jesse Pridemore come at me because somebody sent me something that her little boy toy, her buddy, and once again, innocent until proven guilty. I'm not saying he's guilty of the accusations either. I don't know him. I've never been around the dude. Not even familiar with him. But he's been accused of sexual assault, rape, predatory behavior. Somebody sent me a bunch of Facebook posts by another lady whose name I redacted so she wouldn't get harassed. I tried reaching out to her, but she never responded to me. And it's just like, hey, Jesse, tell me about your guy, because you want to sit here and crucify Vic and come up with a BS story, which, by the way, there's text messages that prove Todd innocent. I have those text messages thanks to Lazy Gamer. It's like, tell me about the dude that you're buddies with that got accused of sexual assault, but you're not jumping on his shit, you're jumping all over Vic. And then she tried to get, there's like this Twitter thread where she just tries to butt heads with me and deflect, and she goes, you're mixing up my story, yeah. I'm like, no, dude, because you put them in the same story. She told me to fuck off and block me, and it's just like, whatever, man. So, just know, if you were really a victim, if something really happened to you, you wouldn't need to falsify shit. The connections, Mars Girl seems to be at the freaking center of everything. With Beth Elderkin, Samantha with Rooster Teeth Funimation, the connections have been proven. It's like, we're not stupid. Those of us who know, can see what's going on is going to call the shit out. Everything that I've put out, I've not found on my own. I've even told people this. I've just the megaphone. So others, because of the accusations put out, it has caused people to dig. And it's like, this is what happens when you put this shit out on the web. People are going to dig both sides. And so it's like, you can't expect people to take you at your word. You have now started an internet dumpster fire, and you expect no backlash from it. Especially when you can't prove your case. I don't feel any sympathy for you. I'm not saying, I'm not, like, once again, I'm not agreeing about doxing. That, I think, is shit. We jumped on that little shit's case, and hopefully he's gone. But you see what I'm saying. The behavior, falsifying stuff, it doesn't make sense if they're actual victims. I don't fucking need to do that. I know legitimate victims in the anti-SJW sphere that don't do that crap. It is very hard for us to tell our stories when we see all this bogus. It's like, nah, I'll go back in my corner. Fuck this. Excuse my language. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Dude, I curse like a girl. I curse like a sailor every fucking day. Don't worry. You don't have to censor yourself on my part. That being said, okay, let me try to break down what you just that ramble there for a minute. All right, now the fake swatting with Samantha Hearth. That, at first, I was agreeing with you. That was dumb. However, it has come out, and again, there's still a lot. That one's a debatable one because there is a police report now for this swatting. That was put out. Again, they didn't show much because, well, it's a police investigation. They can't show much.
They're not pursuing it.
And the reason why
They're not pursuing
Okay,
it.
then.
I called
Well, then.
Deputy Robin Newell, because I put this out was it Anime Outsiders got a hold of the PDF before Anime Network put it down and integrated it into the article. I called Deputy Robert Newell and I asked about the swatting, and I mentioned, like, you guys are getting accused of swatting this lady's house, and she used old photos from another swatting that was unproven, which, again, I put out the post, what was passed on to me. So, yeah, it's just like, she never got swatted, nobody attacked her door, and it was only filed as criminal mischief. Police report, mind you, only means you filed it to the police. It does not mean that they're investigating. They are not pursuing shit. Sorry, go ahead. I just thought I touched upon that, because I did dig into that end.
That's okay. Fair enough. And that's why we're having this debate, so we can clear all this up, be on the same page, and at the end of the day, just, again, being civil about it. That's the whole point. That's more than anything else. Like, again, we can debate all day long about what's actually happening. But the point of this is we need to be civil about it, which you have been. I will freely admit that. You've been nothing but civil. I mean, passionate? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But you've not insulted. Like, okay, you might have gone a little after the VAs a little bit, and I might have to just say that. But, again, given the circumstances...
Don't expect me to be nice to them, dude. I'm not gonna, like, I'm not out to destroy them, but
Let's leave it at that, and we'll move on. Let's not make this any worse for ourselves than we have to. But this whole situation has been a dumpster fire on both ends, and I think that's been the problem. And I do agree. A lot of the VAs do need to back off and calm the fuck down. They are letting this shit get out of hand, and it's not helping their image. It's not helping the situation at all. At all. Now, the big one I want to touch upon is the burden of proof. Now, I think we need to make a distinction here. Are we, as fans, owed burden of proof? In all honesty, and I know you're going to probably hate me for saying this, but in all honesty, we are not owed that burden of proof. But, I want to make this clear, burden of proof is owed. That, again, is what the courts are for, and that investigation the Funimation did. Again, bias aside, they has to found something. Vic Mignogna, regardless of anything, is a very prominent voice actor. He was one of their A-listers. If they're going to get rid of him, even with his supposed attitude at conventions and everything else, they had to have something concrete because of this very thing. They were probably put into a no-win scenario here. That no matter what, half the fan base was going to backlash, which it has. Regardless of how you feel about the situation, they were caught in a no-win scenario here. Either way, somebody was going to get pissed. Because either you have our side getting pissed because they didn't fire him, or your side getting pissed because they did. They were caught in a catch-22. Screw it if you do, screw it if you don't. Very clear there. That being said, at this point, the one place that is owed burden of proof will be the courts. And that is why I am agreeing with you. This should have gone to court. And that is the one crux of this whole matter. I'm sorry, I was just finishing up.
No, you're fine. Here's the thing, though. Is, yes, it should have gone to court right away, but it hasn't. But again, this was orchestrated on purpose. This was done a specific way on purpose. And I love it to bring up the corp stuff, the corporation. Anybody who has had a job, retail, media, otherwise, knows corps are fucking shady as shit. I have been tossed underneath the bus, or they have tried to toss me underneath the bus. And the amazing Lucas actually broke it down perfectly, because yes, the fan animation was caught in a catch-22. But if you look at who bought them out, Sony, Which I believe somebody told me was the summer of last year, the year before, and you look at who's in charge of Sony, who, by the way, and once again, this is where it gets political, because this has turned political the more we've uncovered more of the shit that's been coming out. The person who's in charge of Sony, CEO, is a feminist, or speaks feminist rhetoric. So how does that tie into the animation stuff? So Sony, more than likely, and again, this is speculation, don't quote me, told Funimation to freaking toss Vic because of the bad press. A lot of companies have rules about press, and if you're being bad press to the company, they're going to toss you. Now, is it ethical? Is it moral? No, because pretty much at that point, if the managers look bad, your ass is out the door. It's messed up. That's how employee morale breaks down. And the Amazing Lucas have a wonderful video on it, to where this, again, speculation, hypothesized, Amazing Lucas actually has experiencing with corporate jobs and things like that. So what he pretty much stated, the gist of it was, like, they brought in the lawyers, like, okay, what do we do? Because there's crap brewing on both sides of this issue. What's going to be our best option so we don't get burned the worst? And business decision was to toss Vic. Rooster Teeth also joined in on that. Sorry about that. I have a spam caller. Anyway,
it's okay.
Rooster Teeth also joined in on that. So it was a tactical decision to save face, but if anything, it hurt them more. So there was nothing more. There wasn't an actual investigation. I love how people keep saying, oh, well, they investigated and they tossed him because the investigation actually produced results. You people need to learn how corporations actually work. They don't give a flying fuck about the actual policies they set down for themselves. If they can get away with skirting their own policies and do a formality of it, they're going to. So nobody can prove, no one can tell me, oh, they actually did an actual investigation, when the people who, once again, who have come out and falsified shit are a part of that investigation. And when you have Mars girls saying that, oh, well, I have funds at Fine Animation, it's like, nah, investigation my ass. This was a quick, maybe 20-minute thing. Lawyers, get the hell in here. What do we do? Oh, okay, we're going to toss some formalities. Bye. It was just enough to cover their ass. I'm sorry, it's just like the corporate BS reeks here. It just, no. This was not thoroughly investigated. Oh, I have thank you, Leo Convoy. I actually have I have a couple super chats. Okay, my bad, guys. I'm not used to getting these. Man, you really dug deep in this. Yeah, I actually had a friend bring this stuff to me because she would talk to me about Vic a lot, and then I started to see more bullshit as I dug, and like I said, I'm a past victim, so this shit pisses me off. Leo Convoy, again, you can't assume that a company isn't incompetent. That's such a bad argument. Yeah, and see, there you go. There's, Leo is another dweller in my hall. He's more familiar with, like, Thundercats and things like that. But yes, you cannot assume that a corporation is going to be sparkly clean. Anybody, you can learn this shit from retail. How messed up the corporation is, just how messed up HR is. It's just like, yeah, no, formalities, so people wouldn't get in legal trouble. Just go ahead.
It's fine. It's fine. It is a mess, and this kind of thing does happen a lot. But it's also a case of, as somebody who's actually had to take business courses and understands the business mindset, this also comes back to what do you do in a situation like this? Because again, like you said, they had to figure out what was going to be the lesser of the two evils for them. Because again, like I said, either way they're screwed. Either way, they're going to get burned. And they know that. So they had to do what was, it was either cut one or risk losing a lot more.
That was,
and it sucks.
Yeah, that was the speculation.
But at the same time, yeah. But at the same time, what were they supposed to do? Like, you can do the full investigation, and even if you can but there was already evidence of his bad cons. That already was probably one factor. So even if they did do an investigation, they would have found something. They would have had something. Maybe not sexual assault. We won't go there. But they would have had evidence of bad behavior. And that reputation alone would have been enough. So at the end of the day, we don't know, we can assume, we can speculate, we can say whatever we want. We do not know what happened at Funimation. We can make educated guesses, but we really don't know. Well, and I think that's the problem is we get this idea, that we have to know, that there is an answer, and if we don't find it, we make it up. Not saying you did. I'm saying all of us do that. I'm saying we have to accept the possibility that we really don't know.
No, and that's the thing.
And until we do know for certain, for absolute 100% certainty, or at least as close to it as we can, to be able to fill in the blanks without just random guessing, all we're doing is speculating. Go ahead.
And true, as speculation as it is, and I do have one more super chat here from Leo again. What do? You keep it private and let the courts address it. Exactly, that's what we've been saying, Leo. But once again, this was done on purpose. And let me touch upon the Funimation investigation as well, because in the IO9 article, I swear to God, these people cannot keep their mouths zipped shut for 5 minutes, and this is what has got them into so much shit. That IO9 article, it was the Ann article, a brand new one that tried to repaint the freaking fake swatting door as, oh, Samantha's still a victim. They specifically stated that Funimation had done an investigation before. They were well aware that Vic went to cons. Funimation has a hand in cons. They show crap at cons. Whether it be anime premieres, they are very much involved in the conventions as well. So, with that being said, they've already done an investigation on Vic Mignogna, and that was proved to be inconclusive. Like, it didn't go either way, so there wasn't enough evidence to go, oh, well, yeah, get him the frick out of here, or it's just like, no, but still, it was inconclusive, because, once again, nothing got proven, and then you had a bunch of people doing word of mouth. So now, and I don't know, because I do not have this timeline when Mars Girl actually started to have connections to Funimation, because once again, she's bragged about having friends at Funimation. So it's like, when did you come into the picture? Were you after the first investigation? And then in between? And then because, like I said, she's the one that started the Kick Vic hashtag by retweeting Han Leah, who, by the way, is a yaoi artist, and I bet you anything she's one of these, and I know it's a conspiracy theory, break out your tinfoil hats, but she's a yaoi artist full on because she now shut down her Tumblr after she got busted. Because I was aware of her Tumblr, and someone else I was talking to earlier today, her Tumblr's now gone, but it was nothing but yaoi art, and she's the one that was calling Vic homophobic, rude, asshole, and so you have Mars Girl retweeting her saying, oh, well, maybe we should have a Kick Vic hashtag on the night of the DBZ Broly premiere. The very first night it went out in the theater. It's just like, that was planned. Come on, man. That was premeditated. And then you retweet a disgruntled yaoi artist of all things, so it's just like, y'all brought your bullshit to the wrong neck of the woods, and it just, I wish, I don't know if I call it a revelation, or just, the more stuff I see, I just like, no, for whatever freaking reason, you guys are dead set on destroying this man. And there's even speculation that it's not just about Vic, that there's something bigger going on. So that's been going around too, and it's just like, planned from the get-go. Here's all the evidence, here's all the steps they took. Oh look, yaoi artists. Oh look, yaoi artists have complained in the past that Vic won't sign the yaoi art, but he does offer, hey, is there something else I can sign for you? I've seen video footage of that because people try to tell me, oh well, he doesn't sign anything. Yeah, he does. He goes, can I sign something else for you, please? And he doesn't sign the yaoi stuff because it's not canon. Another super chat. Hey, Leo. Also, the argument that they found stuff he did at con, so they fired him based on that, is also asinine. Your place of business has no control or right to your actions when you're not clocked in. And that's true enough. And let me touch upon that too, because I won't, name my employer, but my employer had this rule. If you associated their brand with you, even off the clock, that if you made them look bad, that you can't get in trouble. However, though, being off the clock and being away from your employer and being in your free time are two different things. It's a little bit, I will say, it's a little bit more complicated with Vic because, once again, Vic was a voice actor for Fun Animation. Fun Animation had a finger in a lot of conventions. So I don't know exactly how that plays. Leo does bring up a good point, but once again, Fun Animation associated himself with Vic. Vic associated himself with Fun Animation. So that is a sticky web in itself. But once again, it is a good point to bring up. Go ahead. I've been, like, steamrolling you.
It's okay. No, I wasn't even going to bring up the homophobia thing because, honestly, you're right on that. And that's why I was even going to mention that, because honestly, there wasn't enough air for me to fully say he's homophobic. That to me is an argument that really just was going to go nowhere. To bring that up. But yeah, that's the thing. If it was just at home, and he has even fully admitted stories where he's at home and things have happened and they don't look good, but that's disassociative. Like there was that story where he apparently had a couple of fans who stalked him to his home and he just let them in, which at the very least, that's not exactly a good image to have, even if nothing happened there, which apparently nothing did, and I'm not going to assume anything did happen. But it's a very difficult situation, and comes back to my argument. We don't know. It all comes back to the fact that we don't know. We know bits of it. We know pieces of it, but we don't know enough to make a conclusive argument either way.
I disagree.
So that's where we get to this problem.
I gotta disagree. People's behaviors, what's been going on, the more we dig skeletons in the closet. Like I said, with Jessie Pridemore, her buddy being accused, but she has said jack all. She blocked me when I struck a nerve with it. It's like, yeah, no, you're working with a guy who's been accused, yet you're gonna jump on Vic and not the other. There was someone else. Oh, that's another person. Again, he innocent until proven guilty, and had their own guy accused of sexual assault. And I need to dig into this a little bit more. His first name was Justin. I forget the last name, but he was accused of sexual assault, and the cons dropped him. So what did Ann do? Ann stuck their foot up somebody's butt and got him put on back on all the cons. I do hear that he was proven innocent. Again, I've read up on this barely. I just one article, but again, it did show the double standards. It's like you guys went out of your way to make sure your guy got into the cons and was proven innocent, but y'all jump all over Vic. And y'all are connected to other people. Once again, Mars Girl, connected to freaking Anime News Net. She was a damn editor, as much as she likes to bullshit and lie. Nah, I found an article archived, I think it's in my request room in my hall, she contributed to an article, and ED is a shit-talking page, but they do get some stuff right, depending on the person and whatnot. ED places her with Anime News Net. And other people have come out and go, yeah, no, she was their employee for a while. So it's just, and I've already caught Mars Girl in a few lies already. Because when me and her started butting heads, it was about the Risembool Rangers, and I went investigated for myself. I'm like, you are so full of shit. That's another rabbit hole, because I actually I kind of had a fallout with someone because of Mars Girl. And because this dude didn't have a spine. So, and they're buddies. I should have caught the first red flag and let them both go, but you know what? But anyway, yeah, no, so once again, connections. People have their buddies accused, and they'll jump all over people's asses to either shut them up or get them proven innocent, but they'll jump on Vic and try to destroy him and burn him. Any way they can. So yeah, like I said, I've been watching a lot of people. I've been digging through the hashtags. I've been seeing the videos come out. I have an alternate account because these buggers have me blocked. I have an alternate account. I can still see you shits. And I can still see the crap you've been spewing to the fans, and people come out with accusations of their own, and you pretty much tell them to fuck off, or Jamie March getting all fucking creepy with somebody. Ugh. So it's just like, nah, your behavior tells me many, many things. And being a victim is not one of them. That, by the way, again, is not a freaking badge to wear. And I said in my stream the other night, it is freaking disgusting, shameful, and it is so freaking embarrassing to even admit that. Because it is. People had their person taken away from them. If you understand what that means. I'm not trying to, like, talk down to you, but I talk funny sometimes, so hopefully my phrasing works.
It's okay. I appreciate it. This is one of those cases where we again, at this point, I think we're at that agree to disagree part where I see where you're coming from, and you're not entirely wrong. I just feel like I just see more to it than that. And this is where we got to say, at this point, we've dug up what we can, and I'm sure, and I'm sure new things will come up that we'll be able to dig into further later on. But for now, the lawsuit's coming. We got that, and even though it's not the way I would have preferred it, I would have preferred one of the victims finally made the move. But either way, the truth will come out. And we'll know as much as we could possibly know. Go ahead.
If they didn't go to court then, they're not going to go to court now. All these allegations are nothing but for attention and to burn somebody. Because of what? Sorry, I have a cat. Go away. A little torty. She just likes to climb all over here when I'm over here streaming. But like I was in another stream, and let me see the dude's name. It's, I think, Casual Otaku. It's a stream with Casual Otaku and Shin Ryuji, and pretty much I got asked, and I understand the fear of talking about your own story. It took me years to get my own voice, but you know what? I actually worked through my stuff, and I didn't set out to destroy anybody. Oh, look, my Discord, it's working. I'm sorry. I just noticed that from the feed. But I was talking to somebody because they asked me, like, what would you do now? What would you do now? And this is true for back then, too. It's like, what would you do now if you had proof, if you had that thing just happened to you? What would you do? And I told him, like, I'd grab my husband, I'd grab my father, and it's just like, y'all need to come with me to the police station right now, because this just happened right now, and I'm really screwed up. So the fact that people haven't reported this over a 10 to possibly 25 year span, and you're just now coming out with your stories, miss me with that BS. It is one thing to have a process to learn how to talk about your own story, because the more you stay quiet about it, the more it does have power over you. But the more you're able to voice it and realize the side effects and things like that, the more free of it you become, and you come to terms in reality with it. But you're just now coming out with something when there's a public burning of somebody? Go away. Go far away. You don't... No. No. That's not how any of that works.
See, that's actually where... Actually, I'm going to counter that. I'm actually going to counter that with an argument here, because, again, let's go... Like, the Me Too movement kind of proved this. Like, let's go to Harvey Weinstein and see how that played out, because that one was one where there was evidence. And obviously that doesn't as fully apply here. We still are looking for evidence, so I won't deny that. But even when they had evidence, a lot of people were afraid to come out against Harvey Weinstein because of how powerful he was as a public figure. Now, Vic isn't as powerful a public figure, but he was still very powerful given his fan base and given how well loved he was in the community. So, and again, we look at stuff like Bill Cosby, and more recently, R. Kelly. R. Kelly had accusations for over a decade. Since like the 90s, he had issues going on, and those are just now starting to come out. He's just now getting arrested for that over 10 plus years later. So to say that people would always go immediately to report something like this is kind of actually not true. We have precedent for people only now coming out years after the fact. This stuff does happen. So, for Vic, it's very possible. Again, courts will prove this. We'll get to that when that day comes. But to sit here and say that people will always just go straight out and report isn't true. Not all of us have that strength to come out right away and call out somebody for doing something like this, because they know how powerful that other person is, whether it be a voice actor, a celebrity, a producer, or even just your own boss at your job. You know, people have had sexual assaults by bosses at their jobs who aren't that powerful, but they're powerful enough that they have that kind of sway over you. And to come out would basically be a risk, because if the case doesn't go through the way they planned, their lives could be the ones ruined. And that's kind of what's happened here. You may not like the idea, and you may think it's wrong, and it is. But that's what we've been dealing with. That's why the Me Too movement started, because people were finally getting that voice, because all of this shit started happening. People were finally saying, okay, enough is enough. People started speaking up, and others were like, oh, now I feel confident enough to speak out. It sucks. It absolutely fucking sucks. And we still don't know the truth with Vic. We know a lot about what's going on, but we don't know the truth. And that is what we are working towards, the truth. If he's innocent, I will shut the fuck up, and I'll never speak of this again, and I will be singing his praises till kingdom come. But until we know for 100% certain, I'm going to stand by the victims, because I've seen the precedent, and I'm standing by it.
Here's the thing. Let me talk about the Me Too movement just a bit, because me personally, and I've said this before, and I think it's as controversial as, that movement now needs to go die in a fire. It started when I first started to see it, and I thought, oh, hey, because I got a few sexual abuse books, and those were hard, so I had to put them down. But anyway, when I first started to see the Me Too movement, I first heard of it, started looking into it and going, hey, this is cool, because this can actually be a way to help people learn how to deal with that trauma in a healthy way. And then I started to dig more into it. Like, when this was the first red big flag I had, is when people started to do the Me Too movement, started to go around, and I put in, well, we have to remember our male victims too. Because I have family members who are men who have been traumatized in the same way I have, if not similar. So, when I put that on my Facebook graphic page, I got, just by people who said that they were feminists, and then when I said, oh, wait a minute, me too, I thought this was about sexual abuse victims or sexual assault victims altogether, because sexual abuse is not gender specific. It can happen to anybody, everybody, whatever age. So, and I got told I had internalized misogyny, that I had perpetuated patriarchy. I'm going like, what in the actual fuck? So that was the first red flag, and when I started to dig into the hashtag more, and I started to see more and more and more men end up on that list, I'm just going like, oh no. So it's like, I don't want anything to do with this, because something that started out with innocent intention, something that actually was meant to give actual legitimate victims voice and a place to go, hey, this happened to me, here's how I dealt with this, got turned into a freaking double-edged sword, and did pretty much got turned into a damn axe that is used to chop off the head of any guy they don't like. And it's just like, oh, fuck this shit. It needs to die. So I've seen so many stories. Like, I'll give you an example, because I started a thread, and I can give you this thread later. This thread had 7 to 8 cases of women lying about rape. 2017 is when this Me Too movement broke out, and so lying about rape. You had a football player, Brian Bent, or Brian, can't remember his last name. He spent 5 to 7 years in jail, lost an NFL contract because his disgruntled ex-girlfriend came out and said that he raped her. Turns out somebody got text messages from her Facebook or her phone or whatever and proved him innocent. 5 to 7 years lost because of a false rape allegation which do exist. So it's like, Me Too movement. Yay, no. So this is why I want nothing to do with the movement. This is why I fight out against the movement. Because, like, there's a better way more than a freaking internet mob to deal with this shit. It is one thing to get justice. I get it. In a way, I would love to have justice for what happened to me. Ooh, getting emotional. But at the same time, I'd rather have healing more than try to go out of my way to destroy someone else's life. I could go, technically, if I wanted to, and I'm not going to give away my birth state, but the state I was born in has a certain number on limitations. Technically speaking, I could still go after her if I wanted to, but because all I have is a CPS file, and I actually dropped a piece of that on Twitter 2 weeks ago when I got into a freaking argument, but all because I have a CPS file. That's all I have, and bleeding memories and testaments from other people. That's not enough, but I'm not out to destroy by somebody. I'd rather have healing. And yes, let's have justice. If we can prove that these people are predators and sickos, get them behind bars. Get them off the street. Get them the fuck away from other people. But when you use this movement that was meant to be a beacon for people as an axe, I'm done. So when it comes to Vic Mañana, it's like I'm looking around and I'm watching everybody. I'm watching the movement. I'm watching how people are responding, what people are putting out, how people respond to me. Yeah, I can be a little bit squirrely. Yeah, I can be a little trollish. But at the same time, everything that I've put out has been evidence, has been backed up, saying, oh, hey, what is this? Why are y'all hiding all of a sudden? Sorry. God damn, I hate this shit.
We both do. That's why we're here. We both hate where this has become, without a doubt. It has, and again, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Kick Vic movement is all saints. There have been some bullshit going on in there, but let's get back to the main point I was trying to make when we started this whole debate to begin with. Is that at the end of it all, we need to end the hate that's been building up in this. We are, people gave shit to the Be There thing, and it was cheesy as fuck. I won't deny that. And the timing of it may seem suspicious, but the message was on point. We need to get back to civility here. Have the debate, have the arguments, have the evidence, but let's not hate each other over this. We're just anime fans enjoying the medium. Why can't we get back to that? We can still have the debate outside of that and have the arguments made. But we don't need to be slinging insults or harassments on both sides. Make that clear to everyone who's listening. We don't need that shit. Let's just have this civil debate like you and I have had tonight. Let's have the civil debate like you and I have had tonight. Heated as it may have been, it has been civil. And then let's get to the truth. Regardless of whether or not Vic is innocent or guilty. I'm honestly not here to try to prove Vic guilty. That is not my job here tonight. I don't have a dog in that fight. As much as I stand by the victims, as much as I want to see justice done, I'm not here as an emissary of the Kick Vic movement. I am simply here to end the harassment, end the hate, and just have all of us come together and say, regardless of how this ends, we all should still be anime fans at the end of the day. That is my point for being here tonight.
Well, here's the thing, and I like some anime. I was never an anime fan. I was never a Vic fan. My sphere, more anti-SJW, but just, I don't know, my channel is just whatever at this point. I don't have a direction for my channel, or I'm a graphic designer. That's what I do. So I watch some anime, I really don't draw the stuff. But once again, it just, with the Be There stuff, something I told someone else on Twitter, look into the freaking hashtags before you use them. But the timing of that video, when more evidence of the connection started to come out, when more lies started to get proved, they're like, oh, well, here's a nice gumdrop video. Go shove it up your butt. Because you're not going to deflect from anything that people are outing you for. And that's what, just looking at that, so like, I'm seeing all this stuff come out, I'm having stuff passed to me, I'm seeing stuff like Hirohi, Yellow Flash, the Umbrella Guy, put stuff out and back it up, and it's just, and other stuff, like, digging, it's like, hey, found this, and it's like, and all of a sudden you see this little pretty video, overtaking a hashtag, mind you, that is for suicide awareness for veterans, and it's just like, you can shove that up your butt, because I don't care for that. It's one thing to go, hey, can we just, everybody, breather, it's going to court, and then it's another thing to try to deflect and try to act like everything is la-di-da, like no one's really doing anything. It's just like, no, go away with that shit. I know what you're doing. To me, it's deflection. It's trying to like, oh look over here at the pretty sparkles. Look over here. We're not doing everything in here. No.
Now that to me is an opinion thing, and I'm not going to take away your opinion on that, but the way I see it, first of all, in terms of the suicide awareness thing, okay, that was a goof. I'm not even going to deny that. But we could actually turn that around. If we had actually gone with that and not ended the debate, like I'm saying, and just been civil about this, we could have been there and taken that hashtag and turned it back around and made it work for us. For example, what if we had come together as an anime fan base, like the anime fans like myself, had come together, and instead of just being about that, actually have us promote suicide awareness? Because I made it clear in that vlog I sent to you, I want our troops to get the care they need. I come from a military family just like you do. All right? My grandfather served in World War II. So I understand military life. We definitely need to help these people out. And we could have used that hashtag to spun that around. But the one thing that does infuriate me about that whole thing is not that. That was handled poorly, but could have been fixed. But you also can't deny to me that what the I Stand With Vic people, other than some of you, have done since then and have completely flooded that hashtag. The whole be there in court thing. That I'm calling bullshit on. That should have never happened.
You have... I will say I'm not the only one that saw that video as deflection, so they took it and went like, okay, you know what, you're going to try to deflect, here's what we're going to do, have fun. So that was like, you're not distracting from the shit that's being outed. That's how I took that. I wasn't even aware of the be there in court hashtag until people started to tell me about it. Because I didn't even use the be there hashtag when I saw that cringy video. I didn't even dig into the hashtag. Somebody pointed out to me what the hashtag was originally for, and I went, holy crap! So I never even used any of those hashtags outside of I Stand With Vic, Anime Gate, Vic Kicks Back, Kick Vic, Vic Manana. So otherwise than that, I haven't used any other hashtag. So it's like, I don't know what any of this other stuff is, but holy crap. So it's just people like, no, let's take the attention away from the gumdrop and put it back on the bullshit that people are doing. That's what that was. At least from where I stand.
Yeah, fair enough, but it still was handled very poorly by those who did do that. Like, it further dilutes the whole suicide awareness thing by doing that. I think we could have both agreed that was not the best way to have handled it. I can understand where they're coming from, but yeah, that probably could have been handled better. But bottom line is, at this point, let's just agree to be civil about this from here on out. Again, credit to you. You've done that, and I appreciate that. I think I've said all I can say on this. I think we've made our arguments as clear as can be. But I do want to thank you, because I was expecting, I wouldn't say neither one of us really came out better than the other. Maybe someone will argue that. Maybe some will disagree with me on this, but we made it clear that this case is far from over. This situation is far from done. But at the end of the day, if two of us YouTubers out there can be civil about this and can have an honest discussion without resorting to insults or hateful comments or bullshit like that, why can't the rest of us? That is the entire point I was trying to make to do this.
Well,
and I'm glad that we could do that tonight.
Well, let me explain something too.
No, I'm done.
Oh, no, you're fine. Like, for me, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of videos on it. I've been streaming about it for the past 3 weeks. I don't have the energy to keep up with everything that comes out. Just digging, just passing stuff off, tweeting about it, freaking getting into arguments on Twitter. It is freaking exhausting. And I'm a very low energy person. I'm very kind of mellow. I usually stay in my corner for the most part. So, like, with Hito Heat, Yellow Flash, That Umbrella Guy, even Anime Outsiders, they still, when it comes to YouTube doing the videos on the situation, it is a story to cover. It is them showing their support, and they also have to put on a show. Same thing with Twitter debates. Again, this is part of internet culture. Is you have people, when they get in debates, depending on the person you are arguing with, who can do the most insults? Who can have the most witty comeback? I do it too, because sometimes it's freaking funny as shit with the Kevin guy. Like I was talking to you about before we started the live stream. It's, in a way, it's for show, but there's some people who are legitimately pissed. Like I said, for me, yeah, I've had snarky combats because, you know, part of that, it's just me trying to, like, hey, you know what, over here, pay attention, and yeah, I'll get a laugh or two, but for the most part, I am pissed. I don't want to rage into the camera. I don't want to screech all over Twitter. So you know what? I'm going to come up with a snarky remark while at the same time pointing out your bullshit. I'm not nice to people who do this, and I have not gone out of my way to harass the VAs. When people have pointed out specific tweets to me, I will either go retweet them, screenshot them, archive them, and then I will post a damn thread, because it's like, oh, dude. But otherwise than that, I'm not out to destroy these other guys. I don't care if they go to conventions or not. I don't give a damn. It's not my scene anymore. But what I do care about is the crap that they're pulling, and they're the ones causing more division among the anime fans, among the community. So it's just like, y'all need to shut your damn mouths. And it's, like I said, it's causing people to go dig. And yes, you have people like 8chan. And I'm not saying 8chan has their eyeball in this, but when people from the boards, Poll, Kiwi Farms, those shit-talking boards, when they see a dumpster fire and they can get their foot in, by God, they will poke everybody. And sometimes they will take a side. I've seen them go after specific people that they do not like, or they do not like the situation. Like, oh, I'm going to bring it up here. And this is a reference because this is one case that I have verification for, and this is why I have the 4chan flower in my avatar, is because with the Daddy-O5 situation, it was a custody battle. How we got Mike and Heather Martin's info, because that info you needed to actually call the CPS in Maryland, you needed exact information, and guess what? 4chan went and found all their shit, like house, photo, everything's like, hey guys, call CPS. The thread is now gone because 4chan has gone through a significant purge of threads, but that's why I have the 4chan flower, and that's a perfect example of people digging and the board's going, okay, you know what? We don't like you. We're no one's army, but fuck you. So I've seen them do that, and then I've seen other times, like with 8chan, with what's going on in the skeptic / anti-SJW sphere, they're out to freaking burn everybody to the ground. There is a massive thread that they just poke at everybody with, and it's just like, oh no. So yeah, depending on the situation, they go either way. So
that's just how it is. Like I said, internet culture can be a bitch.
Oh yeah.
But again, I think we've reached the end of our debate here. Again, I honestly don't think there's any more we can say that we haven't already repeated ourselves like 5 times now.
Yeah.
But I want to end it here, and I want to thank you for at least, you know, humoring me with this, because this, I'll be honest, this is new territory for me too. I'm socially awkward. I have had confidence issues my entire life. I would have never, you tried to, if this happened a year ago, you would have never seen me doing this. So I want to thank you for giving me a chance to make this happen, and at least making this as civil as possible. So again, just hopefully the rest of our communities can at least agree to keep the peace while still having the debate.
Oh, Shin asked, like, where's the proof? He's not saying he has actual proof. He's been saying this entire time, we don't know. There's speculation. I've said that there's observance with the way that people behave, what's already come out, and just learning to read it between the line, plus people's experiences with the corporations themselves, whether it be media, retail, just in general, how HR works, just in general. And sorry guys for ignoring the chat. I was not trying to. This is not a usual stream for me, so this is actually the very first debate stream by the Hearth. So I've been in debate streams before, but
yeah,
this is the very first one for my brand of streaming. So
Yeah, this, like I said, this is the, and again, same with my chat. I'm usually pretty good about I've been keeping an eye on it, but there's really not much that they could add that I wasn't already throwing out there myself. Like, I just did what I could. But again, let's just, hopefully we could, all be civil about this. And who knows, maybe once this is all settled and the truth comes out, we can kind of be friends. Maybe it's a dream. I know it's a far-fetched dream, but let's just not hate each other.
That's the thing. I don't hate anybody. I mean, I can get squirrely. I can get snarky. I'm an asshole. I don't like bullshit. I fuck up. And I, for the most part, do come back and go, oh, whoops, my bad. I got too much. But I don't hate anybody in general. I really freaking don't. My reputation, like, okay, I've gotten myself into some pretty sticky shit, but I've never gone on my way to destroy anybody. I don't do those things. I don't hate anybody. As much crap, and I've even at one point got labeled as a freaking rape apologist. This was like a few years ago, mind you, and I did threaten dude with legal action if he pulled the same shit he had pulled 4 years prior. That I would drag his ass to court because I did get a hold of his stuff, and it's like, you do this shit again, your ass is toast. So, I have done that. But at the same time, it's just that's because it was a very serious situation that happened. But otherwise than that, I just like, you're free to come hang in my server. Don't bullshit me. Don't try to fuck with me. We can be friends. I don't care. But don't do stupid and don't try to throw me at the bus because I will bite you back and it's not going to be fun for anybody. I'm not a badass. I'm just Chambers. I'm small potatoes. But you know what? I do have a bite. People have learned about that and have stayed far away from me now. But other people's like, hey, kind of cool. So.
Fair enough. Tell you what, let's end this. I like with any kind of thing, we got to do a shameless plug, right? We got to plug our shit. So
that's fine. I have your stuff.
For my fans, why don't you go ahead and plug what you do?
I'm the Chambers of Your Heart. Like I said, I'm a graphic designer. I have now gotten my channel to where I stream once every week. We talk about politics. We talk about a variety of stuff. We tend to stay away from internet drama for the most part, unless it has a really, really big impact and goes in several spaces. But yeah, I do art. I do poetry. I have a Discord server, so all my links is in the description if you want to check out, for those of you who have been watching my feed on my end, there's two icons in the bottom left-hand corner. Ichabod Orange is my co-host. His information is in the description as well. There's an artist. I'm not using her art at the moment, but if you look at some of the streams, she has done commissioned art for me, where it's my two little cat characters in sweaters, and there's a couple streams with that. If you want cute things, go check her out. Her name's Tabby Wesa. Again, all of her info is in the description, and it should be, oh no, I need to put her stuff in it. Oh yes, okay, all of her stuff is in the description. If you want to say hello to the Rangers, their stuff is in the description as well. All my social media stuff is in the description. And for my followers, be nice to my guest. Thank you guys for behaving. If you want to check him out, his stuff is in the description below. His links, his YouTube, and it's under Guess the Shades social media. So go check him out if you are freaks about anime. So there you go.
Yeah, for those who are curious about what I do, like I said, if you came in late, I do anime episode recaps. Right now, currently, I'm getting ready to start. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. That one just came out to that announcement just came out today. I'll be starting that next Monday. I'm also doing High School DxD, Overlord Season 2, Toradora, and funny enough, Ouran High School Host Club. So go take that as you will. I started that up before all this began, but nonetheless, I'm currently covering those 5 shows, and I've done a whole bunch of other stuff before that. So check all that out. Let me know what you guys think, and hopefully you guys have fun. Regardless of how you feel about me or my opinions on things, I hope you guys have fun. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yep, and with that,
with that,
go ahead.
No, sorry, you go ahead. You already got me covered there.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna kill your feed on my end or mute the Discord, and I'm gonna top off my stream or whatnot, and yeah. So.
All right, I'll just go ahead and head out, but thank you very much there, Chambers.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
You as well.
Alright. So, that was the Shades. He had reached out to me. Oh, there was someone in the hallway. Sorry, Rabbit, this was not... We weren't bringing other people in. But this was not an ordinary stream. Thank you guys for coming out. This was done on short notice. But yeah, so as you can see, it's very heated, very passionate on both sides. You have some people who do see the other side of the coin and go, well, there's victims who have been buried or intimidated to being quiet, and then... But yeah, thank you guys for coming out again. Links are in the description below. The GoFundMe for Vic Mañana, it is the third link down, labeled the GoFundMe link. So if you want to donate, go ahead and do so. If you cannot donate to Vic Mañana, then please, please, please share this link around. We've been doing such a good job lately. I think we are past... Was it 60,000? Hold on, let me pull this crap up. We're not going to go much longer. I just want to see what the GoFundMe is at the moment. But I know last time I checked, it was past 57,000, and I believe it creeped into 60,000. It is loading. As you know, my internet is crap. Hopefully, by this Friday, I will have upgraded my signal. So fingers crossed on that. Give me 1 second here. Come on, load, you stupid page. I am not going to miss this. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, we're at 69,742, and this has been raised by 2,449 people in 6 days. It's not even a full week, people. Wow, that is awesome. So without further ado, you guys have a nice night. Yeah, no, it's almost 70,000. It is short, literally short, 258,000 short of 70,000. So, but anyway, like I said, oh, Flying Falcon, if you have it on the nose of the plane, you need to send me pictures. Pictures. But anyway, you guys have a good night. Behave yourselves, and thank you.